This is Joe Lawrence, and I want to share with you a technique that we've had a lot of success with that you could use that's going to have a big improvement on your net worth over the next 1 year and a significant impact on your monthly passive cash flow. Okay, and we could use this technique to start getting on track for true financial independence, true freedom, and have true cash flow that's higher than your personal expenses, which is how Robert Kiyosaki defines financial independence. So we're going to do this through multifamily properties. So what does this multifamily property have to do with freedom, have to do with improving our net worth and having cash flow? Consistent revenue, checks, direct deposited in the 5th of the month, every month into our checking account. Well, this is a 2-family property that we purchased, but it didn't always look like this. In fact, when we purchased this property for $50,000, this is more like what it looked like. It was a fire-damaged property. It was abandoned. It was vacant. It needed some cleaning up. So we bought this property for about $50,000, and we improved upon it. And I'm going to share with you in a few moments how that actually led to us having cash flow coming in every single month and improving our net worth. What got me into multifamily investing was a paradigm shift that I had a little over a year ago. See, I've flipped a lot of properties. I've done a lot of short sales, some probate deals, etc., and flipped a fair amount of properties, but I was only as good as my last deal. See, when you flip properties, you become what you could call cash rich, right? You have a lot of cash on hand, and you can do things like go to the Caribbean, right? And my wife and I went to the Caribbean a lot, and we went to Hawaii, and I would never take that back from my life. I had a great experience, and I found my true calling, right? Is to sit on the beach and look at the ocean. But the point of the story is that when you flip properties and you're making that income, and it's not passive income, it's earned income. So I can't sit on the beach, do nothing, and just have residual income coming in. I have to go back and flip more properties. I wanted true freedom. And the truth of the matter is, in order to get involved in real estate investing overall, I had to overcome a lot of fears. I remember going to closings and going to appointments to buy houses. I was so nervous. I wasn't eating. I had to force feed myself a granola bar just so that I would eat, and I didn't want to faint, right? So I overcame that fear, and what I learned about fear is, the way to beat it is to face your fears. But what I learned about fear and being uncomfortable is that when you're uncomfortable, when you're going through changes, you're growing, right? And if you're not growing, you can say you're dying, right? So, long story short, overcame a lot of the fears that I had, and I kind of jumped in and started flipping houses. But at the end of the day, I didn't have anything to show for it other than some cash on hand. And I run a company called Business Credit Workshop. In a Business Credit Workshop, we help small business owners get large lines of credit, and we can help them get secured and unsecured loans and business credit lines of credit. When we help a client get a line of credit, we look at what's called a personal financial statement. Now, on the PFS, on this personal financial statement, it looks at your assets and it looks at your liabilities, and then there's a number at the bottom. That's your net worth. Now, when I would do these for clients and I would look at net worth, so I always figured I'll take care of mine later. I'm doing fine because I felt fine. I was, flipping houses, making money. But the problem with that model, or the challenge with it, is that it's from feast to famine. Right? There's no consistency. So I wanted to have consistent cash flow. Like, no matter what, every month I got all of our bills taken care of, and I got good cash flow. And then when I'm flipping houses, great. That means extra money came in, right? And that can be used for whatever. So I still do both. I still flip and I still do multifamily properties, but I now have a focus, like an obsession, with a personal financial statement. And you can Google, personal financial statement. I took mine from the SBA, and what you can do is you can write out, what yours looks like, where you stand right now. And on the left-hand side, like we mentioned, we have your assets, then we have your liabilities, and then we have your net worth. And how are you going to become a millionaire? How are you going to become a billionaire if you don't know even where you stand, and if you're not focused on improving these numbers, right? So which brings me to Rich Dad Poor Dad's Cash Flow 101 game. In that game, there's an income statement. If you don't have that game, you should really get it. There's an income statement, and in that income statement, you're able to list your salary, and then you're able to, on the right-hand side, you list your income, and then at the bottom you have your expenses, and then you have your monthly cash flow, right? So maybe in the beginning your salary is like $3,000, and then you don't have any of this, right? Just take that away. You don't have any passive real estate cash flow, right? And your passive income is not even there. You know, all your money is earned, right? So in the beginning of the game in life, what I'm encouraging you to do is print this out and fill in your own numbers and find out how much money you need on a monthly basis passively, how much money you need on a monthly basis to take care of all your expenses, and then that's your number. That's what we need to get to come in passively every month, and then you'll have financial independence. So beginning, you know, it's all your money's earned, it's you gotta work for the money, right? But if you can start getting multifamily properties, which I'm going to show you how you can do with little to nothing out of pocket, I'll show you that in a second, then you can start to build up your passive income. So on average, these 2 and 3 families that we're buying in Essex County and surrounding areas bring us about $1,000 per month, true net, you know, after expenses and everything is paid, $1,000 per month. So some are low as $500, some are as high as $1,400, okay? But on average, about $1,000 when I'm using simple math, of course. So that's what's coming in after all the expenses are paid. And let's just say we get 4 of them, right? So we were able to purchase a lot more than that last year, but you know, it all starts with one. So you do your first one, then a month or 2 later, you're going to want to do your next one right away. So I want to help you break that ice. So we have $1,000 per unit, per building. We got 4 of them. And so on the right-hand side, we have our passive income at $4,000, total income at $4,000, and we put in all of our expenses, and comes out to $2,700 a month. So we got $4,000 minus $2,700 expenses, brings us $1,300 a month in cash flow. So we actually have money left over at the end of the month. Now Kiyosaki defines financial independence as when your passive income is higher than your monthly expenses. At that point, you're technically financially independent. You don't have to work to live, which is pretty cool, right? And you didn't have to set aside millions of dollars, and you didn't have to win the lottery, you know. So this is, which, don't get me wrong, winning the lottery would be fun, and setting aside millions of dollars is something I think, you know, you should also put money aside towards an IRA, mutual fund, or, you know, whatever works for you. And also investing in businesses too. So this is just one model, but real estate has more self-made multimillionaires than any other industry. So let's start with real estate. So how do we do this? Well, what started this whole video was I was doing comps. I was looking at properties that sold in Newark, and I did comps of properties that sold in the last 6 months that are over $185,000. And they're all 2 and 3 family properties, and we came up with 35 comps. Now these are not brand new construction properties either. You know, these are properties that are built in like 1920, 40, 60, 1970, etc. And they look just like our properties. So there's some new constructions in here that are higher, you know, 280, 300, etc. And then we've got like that middle sweet spot on the comp pool is around 180,000 to 240,000. Now this is what I didn't read in a book and no one taught me. This is why I want to share it with you. Is most I figured this out, and I want to share this with you. We buy the property for $50,000. Okay, we put in, let's say, 60,000 repairs. So we're all in at 110,000, right? Okay, now the ARV after repair value, after we fixed it up, right? Remember we went from this to this. The ARV after repair value, in this case, this is a true appraisal that a bank did, came at $220,000. Now we have banks we work with that will lend you 75% of the ARV, puts us at 165. Okay. $165,000 that we could refi. You don't have to take all of that 165. You could just take the 110. I point like you can see it, right? So you could just take the 110. Now the part that I wanted to say that I haven't read any books and I don't, it's kind of like the biggest challenge for people is that if you work with any one of the major banks right now, they're gonna say, hey man, that's cool, you bought a 3-family, you bought a 2-family, and you bought it for 50, you put 60 into it, and now you're saying it's worth 220. Well, guess what? I'll do your refinance, but you gotta wait 1 year before you can pull your money out. So there's a seasoning requirement for 95% of the 200 and something banks we called in New Jersey that is not going to allow you to do this loan. There are a few banks, and as someone that has relationships with local community banks and credit unions, since I'm the CEO of Business Credit Workshop, fortunately I had these conversations, I had the contacts there, and I spoke with banks, and we actually developed some programs from scratch. So we found a few banks and credit unions that will actually don't have a seasoning requirement because they're portfolio lenders. They lend their own money and they get to make their own rules. So, long story short, you do your cash out refi at 165, and if you're all in at 110, that's potentially $55,000 in cash you could pull out that you could use for whatever. Now, I wouldn't say to pull all that out. I'd leave some equity in there. But a few points that I want to make very clear to you. Number one, you can use the rental income from the property that you're buying to help you qualify for the loan. So that's very unique because in most of the cases we're making, like one of our 3 families, we make over $3,300 per month in revenue, and then we have about $1,400 a month for the mortgage, which is one of the expenses. So the rent is almost close to 3 times the mortgage. The rent of the property is almost 3 times the mortgage. So you can use the rental income from the property to help qualify for the cash out refi. Another cool thing is so as a result, you don't have to make $50,000, $60,000 to get involved in this. You can make $24,000 a year and actually start this technique. Now, where do you get the 110 from? The 50 and the 60? Best bet, use just a private lender, a private source, a line of credit, something like that. Okay, but you could also, which I've done with some clients, is we do a business line of credit that I help you get, and then we use for like our down payment, and then the rest of the money and the repairs, we use a hard money lender, which I also have hard money lenders. So you could literally get into this deal for little to nothing out of pocket. You still need down payment, which we'll use from the business line of credit or a business credit card, and then we have the hard money lender for the rest. And now we have $55,000 that we pull out, that we could potentially pull out. I wouldn't suggest taking all of it, but you have $55,000 that you could use to pay back your funding source, to pay back yourself on the line of credit and pay back the hard money lender. What are you left with? You're left with cash flow and equity. Okay, you don't have to take all 55. If you only take $10,000 out, you're then you've got $220,000 asset that you are all in approximately at 120. So you've got $100,000 in equity. Right, so 220, and you're all in at 110. Plus we took $10,000 out, so it's 120. So you have $100,000 in equity in net worth. You get 10 of these, your net worth is $1 million. Okay. If each of them cash flow approximately $1,000 per month and you get 10 of them, you're at $10,000 a month in cash flow. Now, the hardest is to do your first, right? And then once you get that done, it's easier to move on to the next ones. And I have some students that came to a workshop that I did a few weeks ago, and they went on stage, and I just said, hey man, just if you don't mind, share with the rest of the people in the room, what you learned and how things are going. And I had 2 people that told me I changed their lives. It touched me because I realized that's like full circle right there, because someone helped get me out of the rat race and change my life around, and I was able to help other people like actually complete a deal, actually own rental properties, actually flip houses, and actually make a lot of money, and then come on stage and to say that was really cool. It wasn't scripted. I didn't know what they were going to say, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I really, I'd like to do that with other people. If you're interested in doing that, I'm going to give you my phone number. If you want to do a free consultation, let's just say you want to chat for 15 minutes, I have the support staff here. So if you want to chat with us for about 15 minutes about how we can help you and here's our number. It's 888-218-6354. So give us a call, and if you want to do a free 15-minute consultation on how we can apply this and apply it to your life, so maybe you could end up here, right on the Caribbean island, and get your cash flow to be high enough so that it's higher than your monthly expenses, and then you'd be financially independent. So this is Joe Lawrence signing off. Yes, it went a little long, but I wanted to give you content, and I wanted to really hopefully teach you something and share with you. So if you like this, comment, maybe like it, or let us know, so maybe I'll do some more for you. But this is me signing off, and have a good day.
Hello there, my name is Henry Allen. Just finished up Business Credit Workshop. Now, this program is absolutely everything that it says it is. Believe me, I'm an avid reader, and I've read hundreds and several books, and I've searched out several different companies, and I've tried many different programs, and they all got me marginal results. But I could never cross over. I couldn't cross over until I met Joe. And I swear to you, I promise you, when I met Joe, he took me to the other side. He took me to the other level, step by step, guided me, and changed my life. If you are looking for business credit, or if you're looking for a path or a direction to change your life, for you and your family, and for everything that you deserve, visit Business Credit Workshop. Call Joe. Call him now. Call me. I'll tell you how to get a hold of him.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Aswad Salam, and just letting you know, we just got finished Business Credit Workshop. I was a student with Joe for about 2 years. It definitely helped my life, changed my life. I got over $50,000 of business credit. Not only that, Joe has helped me buy some multifamilies. We partnered up on some deals. If you're looking for anything, some guidance, a real person to touch, you're in New Jersey. If you're in New York and you want to come down to New Jersey, someone you can touch and actually really see, not a guru who's not going to just run around and say, oh yeah, I can help you, and not actually help you. Call Joe Lawrence. Call Joe Lawrence, and he'll talk to you and set up a time. And he's a real person. You can touch him, you can see him, you can call him, you can email him. Thank you.